Summer has waned into fall, and that means cooler days, shorter days, and plenty of time to check out one of New Jersey's best pastimes this part of the year. All of this beautiful fall foliage. We're here at Bass River State Forest in Burlington County, where one forester tells us you might want to set your schedule a little bit earlier to check out the most vibrant colors this time of the year. So take a walk with me, literally, at Joe's Trail, as we talk about the 2024 Fall Foliage Forecast.
I think it's going to be early and quick hitting.
So normally in the Pinelands region, we would expect a peak foliage around late October to early November. This year, the way things are playing out, I'm assuming we're going to see those peak fall foliage colors in mid-October rather than later in the year.
It's the middle of September now we're doing this video, and I feel like really since Labor Day I've already seen some change on the trees. And I know fall foliage is kind of a long season, but it seems a little early to me. Are you noticing that too? Is it just me, or is that something we're noticing?
No, it's definitely been early this year. I'd say maybe about 2 weeks early or so, but a lot of the overstory trees and understory, you're seeing a lot of color change already.
So the big story, I think, going into the fall is the drought, or at least the dry weather we've seen. So we just got an update here in September 19th from the United States Drought Monitor. 3.5% of the states in drought, northern Atlantic and parts of Burlington, where we are now at Bass River. But 48% of the state is teetering on drought. They call it abnormally dry conditions. And that's pretty much all of the southern half of the state. You know, when you go into the growing season, we want a lot of water, right? And we didn't really have that so much in April, May, and June. In fact, we were anywhere from about 25% up in Monmouth County in central New Jersey to around average in the far southern part of the state. So it wasn't wet. At best, it was average. And then with that heat, you're right, we didn't have a lot of like 90-degree days. We did have a couple of days above 95, but I guess you're saying you feel like it wasn't really the heat wasn't that big of a deal.
Right, yeah.
The one thing I wanted to ask you about, and I think some people remember because there were a lot of happy people that were talking about the third week of August. It felt like fall. Temperatures were in the 70s. It got down to the 50s inland. Does that like jumpstart things, or is that still too early for it to really impact fall foliage at all?
No, it sure does, because our days at that point have already begun to shrink in the time of daylight we have. So those cool temperatures can start to jumpstart, just like you said, the turning over into their fall.
Right. And then we've been dry in September here, you know, so far. And it does look like even projections out for the rest of the month, we're just going to say September's a dry month. So the combination of maybe that early start in August where we had those cooler temperatures and drought is really accelerating things. Those two are kind of working in tandem to make this an earlier fall foliage season.
It sure feels that way, yes.
Okay. And then with you said more kind of dull colors, the muted colors, that's just because it's dry this time of the year.
Yeah, there's a lack of nutrients that the trees have been able to transport, you know, because of those dry conditions.
Right. Is there anything that could happen weather or climate-wise between now and, let's say, October that could reverse course, or is it kind of we're baked in already?
I think we're kind of baked in already. A lot of the trees that always tend to change first, I've noticed some of those trees are even already starting to turn brown and drop leaves, even in mid-September.
What's the best advice you can give people who want to see fall foliage here in the Pinelands or in the southern part of the state?
My best advice to folks is find trails that meander near swamps or lakes or creeks. That way you're getting more of those deciduous trees that really show you a lot of fall color.
Really, I think we should rename this Mike's Trail for all the information he's given us, not just this year, but over the years. But because of drought, again, make sure you come here a little bit earlier than when you usually would. And even if you don't see the most vibrant fall colors, still beautiful weather. And with the crisp air around, you'll have a great time here at Bass River State Forest. And hey, maybe you'll even walk by Joe's Trail as well. For Tri-X 57, I'm meteorologist Joe Martucci.